animal chiropractors, horse owners, horse enthusiasts, horse health professionals, and I include you specifically because a big part of this is kind of about you guys. There is a need. I know many of you think, what? For inclement weather. What's inclement weather? That is weather that's just not convenient for us people. That's the rain and the snow and the sleet and the hail and the hurricanes and the monsoons and the I'm trying to think of other names for those things. Derechos, things like that. You say, well, we don't need those. Those are devastating and they are dangerous to life and they can harm people and animals and buildings and stuff. But we need it. Why do we need it? One of the things, I think you realize this, but that inclement weather, that, we have seasons, right? We have tornado season, and we have snow season, and we have hurricane season, and we have those things. Everything has a season. And it's based on, as you probably understand, how the earth and the sun and the moon all interact. We've talked about this before, but it's predictable based on those where planets are and how far they are from us and all those things because of how water functions on this planet. But why do we need them? Why can't we just all have 70-degree days with sunshine and green grass? And here's why. It's that water cycle. So you learned the water cycle probably in grade school about how it evaporates into the air and makes clouds, and then it gets too heavy and it rains back down, and if it gets too cold it freezes. That water cycle does so many more things for this planet and for us. It actually transports. It actually acts as, think of it like a subway system. In the subway, people get transported and their stuff gets transported from here to there. They go to work, they come home. Well, in that whole water cycle system, nutrients get transported. Nutrients get transported into the grass, into the ground, where plants can create them into nutritional food densities for us. And then it gets moved off down the road into the pond where fish can thrive and survive because of those nutrients. And it also removes waste products. So when the air is filled with smog and it rains, it takes those particles out of the air and puts them in the ground. So now the plants can convert them into something useful. So that inclement weather, we have to have it. And you say, well, but couldn't it just be less dangerous and less devastating? Maybe. But when we get that inclement weather is a shift. It's a shift in the Earth's rotation. It's a shift in, how we are moving and thriving in our area, in our planet. Fires. That's an example. Fires also are part of that water cycle. Fires are the other part of that water cycle. Here in Bosque County, we're under a burn ban because it's dry, and it's been this way for over a month, almost 2 months, 2 months probably. And that fire cycle is another part of the water cycle. When things burn off. So we had a 100-acre grass fire just over that ridge last night. And what it did was it put a lot of grass into the air. It took the nutrients out of the grass and made them float. And now they'll be picked up in the clouds and transported, and then that will rain somewhere else and put those nutrients in a different place. So it's these giant, amazing weather cycles that transport nutrition. And if you happen to live in an area that has poor nutrition, it doesn't necessarily mean that you did it. It could mean that your water cycle is broken. And so the nutrients from a field in Nebraska are poor, and when they do get picked up into the air and brought over and drenched down, because clouds are not just ice. To make an ice crystal, you got to have something to make ice on. And so there have to be some things in that cloud besides just water. And those nutrients end up here or wherever it rains. And so the density of nutrition flowing through that water cycle is dependent upon the water cycle and the fire cycle and the erosion cycle and all of those inclement things that are we think of as really inconvenient for us, help to keep this planet thriving and surviving. If you're a veterinarian or a chiropractor who has yet to add animal chiropractic to your practice, and you are considering it, find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com. We've got some special events coming up in September. 3 of them, actually. 3 really important ones. So we have Base Camp is our big event for animal chiropractors to build their practice. It is 27 hours of continuing education for those animal chiropractors. We may have a surprise for you next week, so register today, because when that surprise pops up, you will be so amazed and so happy that it happened, and that you registered today instead of next week when prices go up. But for those of you who are kind of on the fence, you might be a veterinarian or a chiropractor and you might be thinking about adding animal chiropractic. We have a special event coming up just for you. We have 2 of them. The first one is September 6th. The second one is, actually, there's 2 of one. September 6th, there's an event. It's a free webinar. And that free webinar is to help you understand what Base Camp is all about. Base Camp is the CE event that helps animal chiropractors build their practice. But for many of you who are considering animal chiropractic, Base Camp is a great start. It's a great place to get more embedded and more information. It's a place to get confidence and community and learn about income. If you want to learn about how you can make more income in a great community with confidence, find us at animalchiropracticeducation.com. Be watching for notifications about the webinar, which will be going up today or tomorrow, so that you can register. It's free. That free webinar, September 6th, will help you to decide if you want to join us at Base Camp and then join us further. We have for some other events coming up in animal chiropractic training. Find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com.